All right. Today I'm going to share a rather painful, I don't know, confession with you. A confession. Okay. And no, it's not clickbait. No, it's not a manufactured topic. This is something that I honestly didn't want to share. You could say the reason for it is it is something really close to my heart. It is something. It's a deep dark fear. It's something that I'm very afraid of. It's kind of like a fear of vulnerability. Now, obviously, you'll be like, then why are you sharing it? Because, and there's a danger of sharing this. And the danger is my haters who are out there, the trolls, the people who are kind of jobless, who love to pick up things to make fun of me, or especially the who are dying to find out what is it that I can identify, which I can trigger him, which I can pain him, which I can really hurt this guy. So I'm giving them fuel, I'm giving them the weapons. And the more I thought about it, the more I realized, why am I hiding it? Why don't I just talk about it? And the reason being is, I realize that if I keep this hidden, it most probably will come true. Have you noticed that the things you run away from, and this I've known from my own life, the things that you run away from, and the things that you're afraid of, and the things that you hope never happen, actually do happen. I've seen this so many times in my life. The one thing that you're most afraid of and you try to deny is what actually hits you. For some, like for example, women, it is, what if I become fat? What if my marriage ends in a divorce? Or for you, what if I lose this amazing job that I have, this, which pays me this amazing salary? It's my dream job. What if I lose it? What if the girl that I love, she breaks up with me? And guess what? All these fears that I've always had, but never wanted to address and kept it hidden in my heart, it actually came true. Like you can see this girl, no? This girl, yeah, you can see her photograph. Wait, let me, yeah. So you can see her, yeah. Looks nice, no? Because I trimmed the hair off, so it looks real. Okay, now I made her look like a zombie. So when she was with me, the biggest fear was, if she leaves me, I'm finished. I'm completely destroyed. Okay. Then before that, it was, if I lose my job. I Those days when I was in Dubai in my 20s, like from the age of 16, it was always like, if you lose your job, you lose your visa, you're finished. Then it was, what if I lose this amazing golden opportunity where I have this big car and big house and big salary, and if I lose this, then I'm finished. Then there was another one, if I leave Dubai, what will happen? So, yes, there are fears like this, and there are some fears which I'm very sure everyone has and nobody wants to have. Like, for example, what if you get paralyzed? What if I lose my fingers? What if I lose my hands? What if I I go into a coma? What if Thailand throws me out? For example, then where do I go? What if YouTube shuts down my channel? What if I lose my ability to talk? What if I'm blind? Um, I'm very sure these are real, very real possibilities. Okay, yeah, there is a 1% chance it can happen, but still can happen, right? And what if it happens to you? What if it happens to me? Like, I don't want to dilute it by saying, yeah, it can happen to you also. Forget that. What if it happens to me? And it's very hard to come up with the answer or solution. It's very hard. We can try to sound intelligent and say, yeah, if I do get paralyzed, I will still be positive. Yeah, it sounds very easy to say that, man. But can you imagine? Like, when I see this video, like right now, the immediate thought is that that boy who was in his 20s, you can Google search this. He was driving a heavy earth moving machinery, and it somehow fell through the edge and it pinned him down, and he lost, below his belly button, he has lost everything. Okay, his leg, his private parts, his hips, and then he lost one hand, and he just has a stub here. Young boy, and they had to save him. And just imagine, he doesn't have legs, he doesn't have his private parts. His stomach, to survive, is just a tube. And to remove his, the waste products from his body, there's another tube. He doesn't have a hand here. So he's nothing but a head and a body, no arms, no legs, no nothing. So people can write, you're such an inspiration, you're such a this, you're such a that. But can you imagine like going through that? Oh my goodness. In fact, there was this, I shared this video and I spoke about it. There was a young man who in his 30s, everything was fine. He had this amazing wife and two children or three children. And one fine day, he suddenly, I don't know, he got sick. And that sickness, just that fever or something, turned into his immune system eating his body, where they had to amputate both his hands, both his legs, and parts of his mouth. They had to cut it off. It's actual story. I don't know if I can get the link, then I'll put it down there. And now he is, imagine, for 30 years of his life, he lived like a normal guy. And now he lives with no hands, no legs. Even, they had to take skin and muscle from his thigh and his butt to put it here. And now he's totally dependent on his wife to feed him, clean him, for shitting, pissing, everything, okay? So when I see and hear people like that, it's like, oh man, how, you can't even imagine, you're scared to even think about it. So now these are extreme things from accidents. And I'll tell you, on this island, I've seen every single day an accident. So every single day I wake up with that reality that, this can happen. Then obviously then there are other fears that you have. What if something happens to my daughter? How will I overcome death or an accident if something happens to my daughter? You remember there was a tragedy in Thailand where this guy, ex-cop, because he got terminated or something, he got crazy. He went into a nursery where there are small children. Actual incident that happened, I think, last year. And 21 children, 21 or 23, small children, as young as 2 or 3 years old or 4 years old. He stabbed each child and he killed them. And oh, it was so heartbreaking, man. It happened not here. It happened in one of those nurseries. It was a national day of mourning for the entire Thailand, because you can see your own child and you think that if it happened. And one of the mothers was saying that I was so focused on trying to get to work on time that my daughter kept saying, "Mummy, mummy, mummy, look here, mummy, mummy." And I shouted at my daughter and said, "No, you just go to school, don't disturb me." And she said, had I spent some time with her, that would be the last time. So there are all these fears. We all have these dark fears. Now, agreed, some of you can be a troll and send me anonymous email or fake message and say, ha ha ha, what if happens to you? I wish this thing died. And I get people who send me messages like that. I wish you lose your daughter, you lose your wife, or you get this and that. Some people take a lot of thrill. But if any of these tragedies did happen to any one of us, it's no laughing matter, yeah. I mean, let's not go that extreme. Even losing your job, even losing your salary, savings. People who lost through cryptocurrency or investment or, the housing market crash, or no fault of their own. They just got cheated by a scammer. Imagine 20, 30 years of your life you saved money only to lose it by clicking a link. So one of the persons who I respect, I was asking a couple of people who are close to me this question: what do you think are my drawbacks? Okay, people who are very close to me, very very close. I don't ask these questions to just anyone and everyone. So this guy who is close to me, I've known him for years. He said, "Loy, your drawback." He said it to me on my face. He said, "Loy, I've known you for 15 years. Okay, see, you haven't changed." That is his opinion. You've become a better father, better husband, better. You have changed in terms of health, but I feel in terms of business or whatever, it's still the same. You improved to survive. Okay. And he said, if you continue like this, in another 10 more years, you'll be totally irrelevant. Okay, that is what he said. And, sometimes when, normal people say something to you on your face, it is, hey, who the hell are you? But then when someone who is close to you, whose views or opinions you value, and they tell you something like this, one is obviously it kind of hits you. Second one is, if someone says something and it rings a bell or it kind of hits, like, resonates or echoes in your head, means there's some reality to it. And even though this guy told me this couple of months ago, it kept ringing in my head over and over again, and I didn't like it. I didn't like the sound of it. I didn't feel good about it. I was pissed off with him. I didn't tell him this. He doesn't know this. But I was pissed off with him. I was like, obviously the first reaction is, you say to yourself, who the fuck you think you are, man? What do you think you are? Like, you think you are God's gift to mankind. You think you don't have any drawbacks. You think you are perfect. Look at your career, No, I didn't tell him this. I was also thinking, look at your career. You're bloody mediocre. You haven't changed. You haven't had a salary increment. You haven't had a job position. You haven't changed your life. You're bloody lecturing me. And obviously being defensive, I was thinking of all that. But then when I calm myself down, I just shush, keep quiet. I ask myself, okay, what's the learning here? The learning is, reality is, what he said is true. What he said is right. If I don't change in the next 10 years, see, I don't know about the part, you're still the same. I don't know about that. Okay. There are different people who have different opinions. But his prediction that if I don't change in the next 10 years, I will be irrelevant. Now, there is not an element of reality. It is 100% true. If, I don't want to say if we don't change or if you and I don't change. No, forget. I'm going to make it painful and only say to myself, if I don't change, if I don't evolve, 100% I'm going to be irrelevant. In fact, you don't have to go 10 years. You can just go 1 year. You can go 6 months. And forget the part of if you don't change, if you don't evolve. You can make one mistake online. Like, I just want you to Google search this guy's name, Dr. Disrespect. Google search and read about him. But I'll give you just, if I were to give you a one-liner, he was the biggest name on Twitch. Okay, he was a gaming guy who would talk about gaming. The biggest name. And Twitch never, ever, ever bans someone. It never bans. It'll give you a warning. It'll give you like 5 days, 7 days. Even if you have done the worst thing, even if you have by mistake streamed of you having sex with someone, like they'll just give a slap on your wrist and bring you back, and you can do the worst things. They forgive you. This guy being the biggest name on Twitch, to the shock of everyone, he got banned, completely finished. The largest guy, it's like the biggest name on YouTube is Beast, Mr. Beast. Just imagine if YouTube doesn't ban anyone and then bans the biggest content creator. So there's something shocking. And then they found out that it just came out a few days ago. One of the Twitch employees said that he was sexting a minor. Now, we don't know what is the age. Maybe it could be 17. Like 18, they say it's okay. But if you're 17 years and 11 months, in some states it's considered minor. So we don't know whether it was 17. We don't know if it was 16. We don't know if he was not aware that he was chatting with someone. And he admitted, shockingly, he admitted that, yes, I was sexting, means sex chat. But he clearly said, I didn't send any images. I didn't ask for images. I didn't send any videos. I didn't ask for videos. I didn't do anything indecent, where to meet or all that. And I'm not charged with any criminal case, because that's a very serious crime. But even though he just typed a few words, oh, I would like to do that, just whatever, use your imagination. His entire career is destroyed. From being the largest guy on Twitch, earning maybe millions, on YouTube earning millions. Now, YouTube has cancelled their partnership program with him. Twitch has cancelled. His company that he founded, where he was making millions out of that, they have thrown him out. And now the question is, what is he going to do? Because he has been branded as, a pedophile. So, you can even have that. You can have everything in the world. And one mistake, just imagine at the heat of the moment, he just felt a little horny, or and he said, hey, you look sexy. I'm just saying, I don't know what he actually said. Oh, you're sexy. What if someone, kisses you? For example, that itself can be considered finished, no? His career is over. So, anything can happen to your career. Anything. Can you imagine if I tell you this? Facebook, which my account is almost like 15 years, a post that I put 15 years ago, 15, and I just said, oh, you fat, ugly, something I said to someone. Okay, we were arguing, food fights. 15 years ago, Loy Machedo, 15 years. Imagine, think about it. 15 years ago, what was your age? What were you doing 15 years ago? They sent me a warning. Your post is inappropriate. This is against our community standards. And I was like, what the hell? I hardly post anything on Facebook. We will close your account. They're telling me they'll close my account on Facebook for a post that I put 15 years ago, where I called someone, you fat and ugly or something. I used to use a lot of bad words those days. And I was like, are you real? Do you remember what you posted yesterday? You don't remember what you posted yesterday, and you are asking me to remember what I posted 15, 16 years ago. And that also, those days I used to post at least 50 to 100 times on Facebook those days. So, anything can happen at any point of time. You can just post one video, one thing. Say one thing. Like we have seen people online, by mistake or, at the heat of the moment, they wrote one word. Maybe they can even type the word Hitler or say a word and people say, oh, this is anti-Semitic. Or, during COVID, you just say COVID is not real. Your whole account can be banned. So crazy, man. We are living in a day and age where nothing is certain. Anyone can make even a false allegation and get, like Kevin Spacey, none of the charges have been proved against him, but his savings, his life, his career, his brand is destroyed because of those years of litigation. Now you can say he's guilty. Some people say, no, where's the evidence? Like Dr. Disrespect. No evidence has been shown, but he admitted. Now, how severe it is, who knows? But does that mean for someone's career, someone's earnings, someone's future, someone's brand? He is maybe in his 30s, he has another 30, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, maybe another 40 years of his life for one text to be destroyed. I mean, you and I are not perfect. So, see, the point I'm trying to share with you here is relevancy. You and I want to be relevant. You and I want to earn money. You and I want to live a good life. You and I want to do the things that we like to do. Even these trolls or these haters of mine, they are assuming that their lives are going to be the same that they are today, that they are going to have enough and more money, time, opportunities, or a job where they can continue being the troll or having fun online or meeting their friends. But here's the thing, life changes, man. In 5 years, I can assure you this much, every 5 years, your life would change so extreme. You'd be shocked. The Loy Machedo that I am today at 47, when I look back at, forget, before my daughter was born, I was such a different guy. And then when I look back, when I came to Samui the first time, I was this 125 kg, big, huge guy, and I was totally different. And if I go 5 years before that, 35, I was in Dubai. I was like, Dubai is my home. I'm never leaving Dubai. And just a few days before that, I was deported to, later, I was deported to India, and they said you can never come back to Dubai. And if I go back at 30, I never thought I would leave the job that I was working for, where I had a, you know, paid car, paid house, paid even servants, and paid food and all that. And you're talking of what, 17 years ago? How much has changed, man? Just think about you. What were you 5 years ago? What was your age? What were you doing? 5 years, just 5 years. Can you think? And then go back 10 years, 2014. What were you doing? What was your age? Were you married? Were you single? Were you in college? So, yeah, the words that he said were very powerful. They did hit me hard. If I don't evolve, I don't change. Yes, I'll be irrelevant. He was talking about AI and all that. But in a way, it's good because fear keeps you on the edge. Fear makes you humble. Fear makes you realize, don't think you're too smart. That's what fear makes you realize. And I don't want to be this guy who, obviously, I don't want to be a guy who is irrelevant or not earning any money, or, who has to go through another tragedy in life. That's the last thing you want to do. The last thing you want to do is restart all over again. And I wish I could be so bold and courageous and say that, even if I'm zero, even if I'm nothing, I'm going to show you again. I will do it again. Yeah, very easy to say, boss. My mother was overly confident in her 40s. She said, when I was correcting her and told her what you're doing is wrong, I don't know what was the conversation. She told, do you know who I am? Do you know who I am? Okay, I'm Helen, and I bought you into this world. She was telling me, I bought you into this world. I made you so big. I was nothing. I made millions. I can do it, and I'll show you. You don't know who I am. She's saying, you, what are you? And she was right. I was nothing. And she wanted to, statement that she wanted to give me is, I lost everything. I made millions. And today I'll make millions again. You're nothing and nobody. So I kept quiet. That was when she was in her 40s. She had her ups, her downs, ups, her downs. Today at 60, she is 60 plus. She's penniless. She has had multiple bouts with death where her heart stopped beating. where she was in the ICU for 15 days or 1 month. Now she's become like, weak and full white hair, and she looks shockingly old. She cannot walk without assistance. She and my stepfather, they are a shell of what they were. The pride, their ego, the invincibility is all gone. And that keeps you humble. And nobody imagined in their wildest dreams that a person who had multiple houses in Mumbai, properties, 4 houses, 2, 3 shops, land, she was a multi-millionaire, or she was at least a millionaire. And if she had it today, she would have been in like millions. Today she's penniless. One of my uncles was like big. He was not like a bodybuilder, but he was tough. He was rugged. He was like the man, like Popeye, like very strong. And he always had this baritone voice and all that. And we used to always look at him as an alpha male of the family. He got a stroke. And today he is like a feeble guy. He just walks like this. He can't remember. He can't recollect. So, like my grandmother used to say, one day's fever will make you realize who you are. So I constantly remind myself that anything can happen. I just want to conclude by telling you this, that, when someone tells you something and it hits you hard and you try to dismiss it, but it keeps eating you up inside, that most probably can be a reality. And for me, yes, the fear, I can try to act larger than life with you, and I say, yeah, I don't give a fuck, nothing is going to happen. So many things can happen, from being paralyzed to losing my online profile, to being completely banned, to being thrown out of this Thailand, to maybe in India being zero, to having my hacker hack into my bank account and zero, or I'll be into a coma in a hospital and my wife and kid will leave me, or wife and kid makes an accident and they die, or so many things can happen here. A house can hold set on fire and I have nothing left. Anything can happen. All these things can happen. And it's very scary. It is very scary. I'll be lying to you if I told you, no. What? Of course it's scary, man. And that keeps you humble. That keeps you very afraid. But like they say, you just take life as it comes, man. I mean, what can I do? Let's assume tomorrow the whole house will set on fire. Okay, whole house. I lose everything. What do I do? So, if it happens, I can't do anything. If I can prevent it, I'll prevent it. If can't, start from zero. Or die. Am I right or wrong? Like, if you say, oh, I don't have the strength or all, then you'll die. If suppose they throw me out, for example, some people have asked me, hey, they kick you out of Thailand. You have an Indian passport, you'll go to India. What do you do? I don't know. Like, do you have solutions? Like, if I were to ask you, you get paralyzed, what do? Do you have an answer? Some people, I even ask them, if you lose your job, what do? They try to give me an intelligent answer. Yeah, I'll start from scratch, or I will work hard again. Yeah, sounds easy. But the fact is, the only answer people can give, I don't know. Like if I were to ask you, if your mother, father die, your wife dies, or you get into a coma, or you lose your hands and legs, what do? We don't know, man. But that keeps us humble. That keeps us grounded. The fear. And you just wake up in the morning and be grateful. Okay, today is another day. I'll work hard towards it. I'll save a little extra money for a rainy day. I will work hard to build my brand. I will network with more people. I will give 100%. And then things that are beyond my control, I can't do anything, right? So yeah, um, what that guy said still echoes in my mind. If I don't evolve, I'll be irrelevant. I'll just give one last example before I conclude. There was this guy in Dubai, in Karama. I remember he was calling. I can't for the life of me remember. Like, he was this short guy with white beard and white, and he was calling him Success or Excellence Academy or something like that. In those days, I was in my 20s, arrogant and haughty, and I thought no end of myself. And he was teaching public speaking. This guy. So that's how I bumped into his institute. And I was a competitive speaker, more of this modern generation, 20s and 30s. I was like arrogant. So he was the typical, like in a South Indian, like, okay, you stand like this and you talk, ladies and gentlemen, and you talk like that. And he had South Indian children. They were all clapping. And, he was like the principal, like the school principal or the college principal. And you could clearly make out that he was doing his level best to enroll students. He used to give them this free introductory class. So that's how I bumped into there. And I was like looking at him and who will go for this outdated bullshit? And my prediction for him is his institute would close down. He had it for many years, many years. And true to the prediction, in another few years, as the expenses started to go up, new competitors, new skills, that time social media was also not there. He closed down because he couldn't manage anymore. He did what he had to from whatever level to that level he reached and shut down. So it kind of reminds me of him. Now, will AI take over? Eventually it will. Will OpenAI or ChatGPT or new competitors, new youngsters, new concepts of personal branding, public speaking, resume rebrand, interview coaching, all the stuff that I do, will there be something new? Oh, 100%, man. Come on. Social media was never there. Now social media is there. Before career, my kind of career never existed. Now it is. Everyone's doing it and abusing it. And we have to evolve. And we'll do it as long as we can. And like they say, we'll cross the bridge when it gets there. There will come a time in your life, in my life, where one day we are no longer useful. That's a reality of our lives. So we are just hoping that we get lucky. Either we win the lottery ticket or we get enough and more savings, or something happens, we become viral and then we are relevant. Until then, all you can hope is just put your head down and hope that that day doesn't come. Or even if that day comes, you're able to get through it. I would just say the best example that comes as I conclude is Amitabh Bachchan, superstar of the 80s, Indian guy. Then he made this mega mistake by leaving the film industry and going into politics and business. He got completely bankrupt. He lost his millions. In politics, he got completely thrown out. And then when he tried to come back, he shockingly realized the industry has moved on. Nobody wants him. And then he made a string of embarrassing movies, but he needed money to pay off the loans. He was under loan. Nobody believed in him. And then he got lucky with Kaun Banega Crorepati, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. He became the host, and somehow his charisma and his personality was so amazing that he got viral. This is before the social media days. And today, luckily, him at 90, is still relevant and he's still being paid millions. Imagine a guy 50 years in the movie industry. He went through being a megastar, being a god, right, not zero, minus millions, resurrected himself to zero, paid off all his debt. Now he is back to not the maybe same level of a megastar, but today is a legend. So we all go through it, man. Anyway, this was a heart-to-heart conversation I wanted to have with you. I'm very sure my trolls, haters, and will have enough and more stuff to attack me with. Go ahead. That fire drives me. It keeps me awake at night, and it fuels me. So as long as there's a fight in you, you'll never give up. Like that movie Ben-Hur. Watch that scene when that emperor, when that captain of the ship takes the whip and hits the hero, and he hits him, and he just turns around. He's a slave. He turns around and he wants to hit him back, and he says those iconic words which I remember from the age of 7 when I watched Ben-Hur. It's a movie that released in 1950s. He says, "Hate. I see hate in your eyes." 41. His number was 41. Good. Hate keeps a man alive. Row well and live. At the age of 7, I watched that, and it stayed with me ever since. Hate keeps a man alive. So that fire, where people doubt me, where people make me angry, I don't like lash out like how my mother did. I'll keep it bottled in, and I will do my best to show with results. Anyway, this is what I wanted to share with you. Sorry for the long rant, but spoke my heart out. Good, bad, ugly, feel free. Comment down below. This is me signing off. You guys take care. Ciao.